All right, it is 19 minutes gone past 5, and you are tuned into Business Hub, and it is brought to you by Lotus Bank. And today on Business Hub, well, we'll be taking a look at how the fuel scarcity has impacted logistics in Nigeria. And my guest this evening, although joining me virtually, but as I always like to say, is with me in the studio, is Ayoade Oluwaseun. He's the Director of Commercial and Strategy, Seune Integrated Concepts Ltd. Welcome to you and good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Nice to be here. Thank you.
Great to have you in. And Lagos, you as well can be a part of Business Hub this evening. You can share your thoughts on how the fuel scarcity has also impacted you, especially if you are into logistics business, even if you're just a regular e-hailing driver as well. If that has also affected you, because I know sometimes you have to transport certain items to certain places. So how has that also impacted you as well? To share your thoughts with me on WhatsApp on 009 4440 981. You can also join us on the live stream on YouTube. We are at Smooth 981 FM Lagos, and you can share your thoughts there as well. All right, talking about logistics, right? It's actually a thing that it's been a huge issue for certain businesses, especially getting their wares from here to there. But what kind of logistics services do you provide?
Well, thank you again. I would say Seune Integrated Concepts Ltd. We offer comprehensive logistics services, and our services are cut across different aspects of supply chain and operations. And our activities include freight forwarding, which includes import and export clearing. We do inland transportation, that is loading of containers from port and distribution from to different clients. So we do warehousing, we do end-to-end supply chain management. And of course, like I said earlier, our services cover imports, exports, and domestic distribution. We ensure that goods move efficiently from origin to destination. By origin, we don't mean just picking up from the port and drop at anywhere in the country. We move, from country to country, from continent to continent. Depends on where goods are coming from, depends on the kind of contract that we enter with our customer. So we also provide tailored solutions for commodity trading, equipment supplier, any kind of machines or stuff that anybody may want to procure from anywhere around the world. We have the network, with suppliers across the globe. So we do what we call commodity trading, product supply, and procurement, general procurement, so to speak.
All right, that's actually great to know. I know that that can actually be a lot trying to move things. I like the fact that you also mentioned that it's not just the regular kind of logistics. But talking about that, do you move everything primarily by road?
Well, it's a yes and a no question because yes, because we can't do anything without using road means of transportation, especially in this country, because over 90%, if not 99%, of goods being moved in Nigeria, primarily are moved by road. For us, for our non-port operations, we primarily rely on this, road transport due to its what we call flexibility and accessibility. So you can primarily move your item from point A to B, from wherever it's going, you deliver it same by road. Even if you started by air, definitely you are going to end up delivering by road. So that's why we ensure that the flexibility and the accessibility nature of road transport, of course, doesn't also cut us off from using this road. Of course, majority of our logistics operations are conducted via road, like I said before. And the
True.
current infrastructure in Nigeria, as we all know, we rely mostly on road transportation. So road transport, as we all know, remains the most viable option for moving goods across different locations, whether urban or rural or anywhere. So we remain adaptable to this means as well. But like like everyone knows, that recently, rail transport was given a boost by federal government. And so we recently also started encouraging and utilizing rail and barges for port operations as well. We moved to the direction where government moves, where situation moves. So we are encouraging our clients also to embrace this because it makes it easy to move containers, especially from the port,
From
basically
the
Apapa
ports,
port.
especially.
Yeah. So we move it from Apapa basically because the road is currently connected to Apapa port. So we move, cargoes from Apapa port to Ebute Metta, and then of course sometimes we move from Apapa port to Ibadan. So there's a rail terminal also in Ibadan, especially for what we call upcountry movement. We move from Apapa to Ibadan, and then from there we load on containers, and then on trucks, and trucks can take it to wherever they are going across the country. We also make use of barges, especially this peak season that I've just started for export.
Right.
There will basically be congestion in the port, so most of the time, these exports are time bound. We need to quickly move them out of the
Move them
country so
out.
that they don't exceed the shelf life. So basically, we like to do what we call just in time. So by engaging barge movements after we have cleared customs and all that, we make sure that they're able to go into the port in time by the use of barges, especially during peak export seasons. And many clients have actually adopted this option. Yeah, basically.
I like that. But even talking about clearing from the from the ports, how easy has that been for your logistics company? Is it
Well,
been more tedious, or you have more cooperation with the authorities now?
I think I would say kudos to Nigeria Customs, kudos to port agencies, kudos to everyone who have made things easy for us nowadays, because in the past, it wasn't easy. Your cargo
Bottlenecks
might
here and there.
it was so bad. But these days, within 3, 4, 5 days, you are done. If all your documentations are intact,
All
and
right.
you make the right payments at the right time, it's as efficient as ever, these days.
That's actually great to hear. In the past, you hear, oh, it would take 2 to 3 months just to, have your containers brought to the front. And even when it's brought there, if you don't have some certain amounts being stipulated for you to pay, then you now have to upload it on a truck. All that movement just makes it even worse for businessmen who were trying to just start off on their way. But it's actually great to know that within even 2 to 3 days, at max 5 days,
On 5 days, yes.
your goods
If
are
all
out.
documentations are correct, if
Right.
everything is intact, all payments made, duty, and the right HS code and the rest of that, if all that are done rightly, obviously the agencies are cooperative these days.
I like that. That's actually good news to hear. But regarding, having a boost in the right networks, or movement of all this logistics, I know that you've made a reference to how the rail system is now in place, and it is also you know helping in easing off having to access roads, which can actually be a long journey. But what about water network? How have you also used that to your advantage, or what boost do you think can be added to that road to that network to make it easier for logistics companies?
Yes, basically, for now, we are only using badges based on the
Okay.
existing capability. When I mean capability, I mean access that we can have. Like, Nigeria is blessed with water. I mean,
Right.
with coastal waters that, of course, lighter vessel or barges can move from place to place. But more importantly, I need to stress that not all the water, water bodies are accessible, by way of not being dredged and all of that. So, of course,
Okay.
we have that access, especially within Lagos. For example, if you want to move in your containers, say, for example, export from Ikorodu, you don't have to kind of move it on the road and then, hard up to the already, congesting situation on the
Traffic
road,
and
and just back
yes.
directly from Ikorodu and go to port. We also
Mm-hmm.
move, of course, from different areas, from Abule Oshun, from Kokomaiko, and different places where we have, Ido, and different places where we have water connectivity to the port.
Right.
This can be much better going by, of course, the water we have all around, if they can be connected, if they can be dredged, and then, of course, there can be movements instead of, for example, moving trucks all the way from Lagos down to Delta and the, eastern part. If the water are connected, definitely this can be much better, and then it will reduce the transportation cost.
I like
Definitely.
that. I like the fact that you said if we could do that, we will be reducing a lot of costs. We wouldn't have to spend so much trying to transport any item. But you can be a part of Business Hub this evening. Share your thoughts with us. We are talking about logistics. And well, we'll be on the other side of this quick breather, we'll be talking more about how fuel scarcity is impacting logistics because just thinking about it, I know that it's costing an arm, a leg, and so much more, but we will get into all that conversation on the other side of the quick breather. So Lagos and going over stated to Smooth 98.1. Oh, okay, just a pen. Oh, you want to? Yeah. You're back.
We are your dynamic non-interest bank that truly cares about your financial progress. If you desire ethical prosperity, our project finance, small business facilities, individual savings products, and electronic banking solutions are carefully tailored to provide you with superior banking experience delivered in the most ethical and responsible manner. As Lotus Bank, it is partnership for progress. We share your risks and profit, making it a must-win for all. Open a Lotus Bank account today or use any cashless platforms, ATM, mobile banking, or internet banking to enjoy seamless transactions. Contact our 24/7 call center. Dial 07000 Lotus Bank, which is 07056887225, or visit www.lotusbank.com. Lotus Bank, partner, progress, prosper.
Thank you. All right, let's go back in. All right, it is 32 minutes gone past 5, and you are tuned in to Business Hub on Smooth 98.1. And today we are taking a look at how the fuel scarcity has impacted, logistics in Nigeria. And my guest this evening with me virtually, though, is Ayoade Oluwaseun, and he's, been shedding more insight on how logistics companies have been, having some headway when it comes to certain, ways of transporting their goods, or at least primarily, using certain facilities to the best of their advantages. And one of that I like is the fact that the rail is being in use now, as well as barges, so that more water networks can be used, but hopefully more can be done on that. But now let's actually focus on something that you and I can relate to, which is the fuel scarcity. And let's talk about how it is affecting logistics. Can you speak to how, fuel supply or has affected, your supply chain distribution? or hasn't it at all?
Wow. That's a big question. Yeah. Well, like, there have been kind of disruption in the supply chain as a result of fuel scarcity. Yes, someone would say a lot of our movements are basically, they are based on trucks, and then, of course, truck use diesel. And I tell you, of course, after trucks leave port, definitely there's going to be internal distribution, some sort of movements across different places to final consumers. And these are kind of transport vehicles that uses gasoline. So obviously, this disruption have actually set in. Of course, I would say that fuel scarcity, of course, has led to serious supply chain disruption. It has caused transportation, of course, delays leading to missed deadlines and stockouts, for some customers. For example, someone, let's say, for example, I'm not even talking about using the vehicle now, a driver that have been apportioned or allocated a truck to pick up, from point A and deliver at the client premises. That is, inventory depends on that goods yet to be delivered, and the transporter, the driver is telling you, come on, there's traffic, or I want to buy fuel to put on my bike, or I'm at a queue, or where there is queue, there's hold up there, there's no movement here and there and all that. So this has led to serious supply chain disruption. So the unpredictable availability of fuel, of course, has really made it challenging to maintain consistent operations. Like I use an instance of just a driver who is meant to pick up a truck that is supposed to go and deliver container at the client premises, whose inventory depends, whose production and inventory depends so much on what they are waiting. And then, of course, if you can't deliver, the production has to be stopped, it has to be stayed and all of that, of course. The effect of this, of course, has hampered from production to delivery, everyone can actually feel it, obviously.
And that is an issue today, because if I'm expecting my goods to be at my warehouse within, set stipulated hour, and I need it for production purposes, and I'm waiting, and it's not just say an hour, it's not two. I'm waiting an entire day before I can actually start production on anything. It actually means that I have lost a considerable amount for that day. And that is a problem. But how have you been able to manage, this unmitigated challenges that just come up from, well, like you said, it is unpredictable, but how have you been able to manage them so far?
Precisely. Well, we, like you said, manage, of course, it's not what we can solve. It's not a problem that we can solve. It's bigger than us. But basically, we try to, as much as possible, profile some, kind of workable solution just to mitigate the risk of fuel scarcity. I propose that logistic businesses and other organizations, of course, can do the following, which I begin with, I would say, engage 3PL services. If, of course,
okay.
Yeah. You can actually outsource some of your production activities, some of your logistics activities, so to say, some of your delivery activities or supply chain activities, can actually be outsourced, using a 3PL vendor. So engaging a 3PL vendor would, help you share risk of fuel scarcity, for the risk that comes as a result of fuel scarcity, which of course will ensure timely deliveries through flexible routing. So cost management will also be one of the things one will enjoy, real-time supply chain visibility. So I would say it's important to engage 3PL services rather than carrying this whole risk on yourself alone.
Just yourself.
It has to be shared, Again, I would suggest a fuel efficiency measure. There are a lot of things that you can do just to make sure that you are a bit efficient in your fueling, in your fuel management. So I would say you can implement fuel saving measures like route optimization, driver training, and vehicle maintenance. For example, if you want to optimize your route, say, for example, like in our company, we do LCL and cargo consolidation. if, for example, your company, you have, let's say, for example, 1,000 kg of an item that is meant to be delivered at, I want to use an instance now, like an Ajao estate, and it's just that 1,000 kg. So if you fuel your vehicle, let's say a 3-ton truck, to drop these 1,000 kg, it will use the same fuel as though you're using the same vehicle to load 3,000 kg within the maximum limit that I can carry. So what a 3PL will do, or route optimization we do, is that you can actually consolidate these items that are going to be not necessarily the same location, but different routes, but are almost
within the same axis.
Same route, the same axis. Route optimization can help you do that. You can as well, of course, train your driver, to understand that, there are things they can do that a driver should know, in terms of vehicle management, driver kind of experience, to make sure that they are able to, kind of reduce this kind of risk that we're saying. Then, of course, you maintain your vehicle. When you maintain your vehicle properly, I have that personal experience when I was driving my car. When I first bought it, it came with a Tokumbo, with some Tokumbo tires that I felt I could change. I changed it to new. I changed virtually everything that came with, the same place I drove about 200 kilometers or so when I traveled out of Lagos, and I spent, I think, 40-liter fuel. When I change the tires and a few things, I can tell you that I use less than 30 liters. So it means when the vehicle is in good position, optimum position, of course, it will reduce. So, of course, you can also have what I call contingency planning. You can develop backup plan for fuel scarcity, including alternative, like I said before, and using other modes of transportation. So if you can't use road, you can use rail. If you can't use rail, you can use barge and the rest of that. Fuel storage is one thing I also would advise. Yes, somebody will say for safety reason you don't store fuel.
You don't want to store so much of it around.
You can actually have a reservoir, some sort of reservoir that you put safety measures in place, just to be sure that, for example, you are able to dispense fuel when you need it and all of that. And again, I will continue to stress collaboration and partnership. Organization could actually collaborate with logistics companies like us to share resources and reduce costs. When you share resources, I mean, you don't want to carry all of the goods you have on your trucks alone. You want to give it to a third party to handle for you. All of the costs that are surrounding the movements and all of the things, inventory and the rest of that, can be shared with your partner. We propose this collaboration and partnership initiative with logistics companies so that they can share resources and reduce costs. You can actually, leverage on the fact that there are reliable and responsible logistics company that you can partner with, enter a kind of a JV with, or probably have an MOU between you and them, such that it will always be a win-win situation. They carry your goods, rather than taking care of it yourselves. And of course, it will relieve you of a lot of pressure. You can as well also invest in technology, leveraging technology like route optimization software, fuel monitoring systems, and data analytics. This will improve your efficiency, obviously. Then, of course, like I said before, I don't want to repeat that again and again, but it's necessary for the purpose of its importance. You consider alternative modes of transportation, like I said that before. You can also do what we call price hedging, fuel price hedging. We do it a lot, especially when we are dealing with companies. I don't want to mention names, for the purpose of commercial. We have a lot of companies that you already work with, sign a contract with. For example, they want to give you a rate that they want you to maintain for 3 months, for 5 months, for 1 year. You do what we call discounting ratio and know how much should be charged. Even if you charge it now, the interest rate
wouldn't affect
and all of that, not affect your operations. So part of what we do during this period when we have this kind of contract in place is that we do, because we know we definitely need fuel to run with during these operations. We do what we call price hedging. We approach. We also do what we call partnership and collaboration with people that we know affect our operations, like fuel station, like and the rest of that. So we sign a deal with them and probably pay ahead for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, and then we can hedge this price by making sure that we cover ourselves a bit, you know, to ensure that when these things happen, by the time people are queuing to get this fuel, we already have it with them, so we can just ask our vehicle to go to a filling station A or B, C, and get their fuel. You know, they won't be delayed in getting this fuel and all of that. And then we reduce cost at the end of the day. So when people are buying, let's say, for example, there's a surge today in price, and we had hedged our price since probably last week, and then we paid for, say, we priced it at, we bought it at around 600 then. Today it's 700, right. That price necessarily, you know, not going to affect us. You know, that kind of thing helps a lot, especially when you're dealing with clients that are not 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, or 6. So it helps a lot when logistics companies have this kind of deals, you know, which may not be possible or kind of easy for just a company who obviously will not want to invest in hedging price and keep money with a filling station or anything at all. So logistics company can do this for you. You know, we also advise that we need to engage our government. Government needs to be engaged, and its agencies, you know, we need to advocate for policies that will address this fuel scarcity. You know, logistics company also, we need to kind of engage in partnership. Like currently, I'm aware of what Lagos State is doing, you know, having a logistics hub. You know, I've been a proponent of this thing, you know, logistics company having a partnership with government, you know, that can favor establishing a logistics hub where goods can be aggregated for bulk purchase. You know, it will not necessarily make people run scatter for where they can get goods when the prices, when the fuel is high, I mean, and all of that. You know, so the government can really help a great deal in that regard. Of course, I would say business continuity planning. You need to develop comprehensive business continuity plans to ensure operations continue during fuel scarcity. You can't say there is fuel scarcity
and then you fold your hands.
I mean, you won't be able to.
How are you going to get profit at the end of the day?
And the rest of that, you lose money, and then you lose goodwill. Customers will run from that. You need to have a contingency plan. You know, when you implement these solutions, I believe that we will be able to mitigate impacts of fuel scarcity, and then, of course, we can obviously sustain our businesses. Thank you.
Great stuff. Thank you so much for all that insight. It's been very, very helpful. And I'm hoping that, you know, anyone who wants to reach out to you, how can they reach out to you on your social media handles?
Well, we are present on Twitter. We're present on LinkedIn. We're present on, of course, Facebook.
Okay.
Let me look.
What is the handle? What's the handle that they can reach out to you if they have further questions that they need answers to?
Pardon me?
Your social media handle that they can reach out to you if they have further questions that they need answers to.
Yes. Seune Integrated Concepts on Facebook, on Twitter, and on LinkedIn.
Okay. All right. Great stuff. Thank you so much for, you know, sharing all that insight. And I'm sure that Lagos has also gotten a thing or two.
Well, would you mind also share our WhatsApp numbers in case anyone wants to reach out?
Once they reach out to you on your social media handle, it'll be easier to, you know, give them that way, and then they'll, you know, pick up the conversation from there. That would make it a whole lot easier.
All right, that's fine.
All right. Thank you so much for, you know, sharing all that insight this evening. And I trust you will have